Hey everyone, this is Dutch. Welcome to Artwork by Dutch. I'm the ADHD artist and going to finish wrapping up this Keown. Beautiful piece. Sorry, I'm just getting everything ready. Mouse doesn't quite work as it should. So hopefully everybody's having a good Friday. Welcome, it's Friday. So I've got another tip that for ADHD artists like myself that can get this done. And basically, right now, how I usually flat is I will have something in the background that will use as a timer. So something like the Pomodoro timer is very useful for ADHD folks. And since I can't put on my favorite movies or something to listen to, I will have to put on my iPad and Bluetooth on, and I'm listening to the damage report on YouTube. They're on for about an hour and a half, so that's one way to see how far I get along in this piece. Saw me doing there is I was opening up some other pieces to use as reference that Phil sent, and in the description, if you open that up, you'll find not only Shelby Robertson's RAGETALITY, but you'll also find Phil Diaz's CG Vacation campaign that's currently going on. So definitely get in there and back it. Been a lot of fun working with Phil on these. There's one piece in particular I really, because of my art style, I'm drawn to it. And it's very beautiful. So gotta check it out. Support indie artists as much as possible. Okay, I'm assuming that's some masks there, so I'll have to go back and adjust. It's just one of those days. A little tired. Like I said, went to bed early last night. Had to. Just got to take my kid to bus stop, get her ready, breakfast, everything. So I'm still. An alarm clock came early. The worst part is HOA artists or HOA came through and was doing their leaf blowers on. That was tough. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is a mask, but it can always be changed. So like I said, I'm listening to the damage report on YouTube. Just started at 10 my time, Pacific time. So that way I've got an idea of how long this is going to take. But if I know at the end of the report is done and I'm still working on this, then put on something else. Or I'll put on my Pomodoro timer, and that will keep me as again an ADHD person track of my time and how long it takes. It's definitely a method I suggest not only for just ADHD people, but for artists in general. Usually if you do the Pomodoro method, you will get 25 minutes on and then after that, you get, sorry, a second here. I don't have my comments section open. Fortunately, I got two screens and my mouse is just not working right. All right. So it gives you time because basically it's 25 minutes on and you get 25 minutes off or 5 minutes off. So it gives you a chance to walk away, come back. And as an artist, you know, sometimes you're just so in depth or into the piece that you might miss something. Or say you're concentrating too much in the face and then you realize, oh, that's actually sideways or something. And this beautiful piece done by Shelby. And so again, I'm just hyper focusing now on pieces, a shoe. Another little tip hint here for flatting is aim for the middle of the line, center of the line, follow that around. Rather than trying to draw on the, for example, trying to draw on the outside of the line. I will back this out a bit so you can see the whole piece in general. Beautiful. So I'm starting to work, I'm now going to work foreground to background and slowly isolating characters. Again, you're just making big, huge swaths. Swaths, not swats. And just aiming as much, just going right through the lizard. You don't have to sit and draw around. Sometimes I would have done that. It depends on how I'm feeling. Right now, I just want to try to figure out how this is all looking. So I'm going to assume this is this way. Ooh, now I just lost my train of thought. This happens. So that outside's red. I'm doing the white. Okay, so we're isolating the white. Let's just double check, see how this looks. You don't have to zoom in either when you're like extreme close up. When I first started, I was this close or even closer. I was like this, trying to get everything. Of course, then you just work your graphics card and everything a little harder. So that's the extra line here. Let's see. So let's just correct that. It's just easy to quickly just color in something and Good. I just seen some areas here. All right, let's get the lizard. And we'll get a little closer to this one just because the lines are a little thinner. But I don't see a lot here. I'll break down even further. Ooh. I really am hating this new version of Photoshop. This is really annoying. So I was hoping just to continue on that line to get the tail, but I'm going to have to do it separate. Oh, come on. My phone is so janky at the moment. And remember to save often. Oh, I just realized I don't have any music on. So okay. Yeah, music's a little different than usual. Mystery is a hard word.
Call from 480-8567.
Sorry for the phone.
Call from 480-8567.
Good spam right there. guy's headband. Brown. That guy's a blonde. So I'm going to choose a little bit of a orange there. And you never choose white outright for the eyes and teeth. Usually saved for like the white page of the paper. Angle. Flesh color. So a lot of colors. I'm trying to choose as close to color of like a flask, etc. Yeah, I'm making selectable colors. So when the renderer comes through, the next colorist, that they're able to select it and they can adjust it to what they need. Okay, let's get some of these cats down. I believe Phil had mentioned there was a certain order to them. So let's look at, I see they have different hairstyles. So I'm assuming this is going to be the blue guy. So I sampled this dark blue right here. I can sample this. It's just going to get lighter as it moves along. Oftentimes you don't get references for coloring. And when you do, I try to pick as close as possible, a darker. I'm seeing little artifacts here, so I'm going to clean that up real quick. I missed. So I put the music on because I'm concentrating on getting this colored, and I realized I just colored that paw. So I'll have to go and quickly select that. That's not an issue. I have to say that talking and coloring are tough. It's actually kind of slowing me down. Yeah, so this is an issue. I'm trying to work with Wacom Fix. basically my express keys aren't working. So I might just have to direct them to the video to see that. And the file's a little bit too big for my phone. Send it by email. As soon as it's kind of dark color, so I might make that the eye. Looks like that's a different color, so I'm gonna break this up back here. I do have color selected. I'm going to just looking for examples from Phil. Come in and select these. Oops. Wow, I'm a busy guy. Popular guy today by calls.
602-894-1508.
I apologize. I wish there was a way to mute that.
602-894-1508.
But if you want, you can get that number and spam them instead. Perfectly cool with that. Okay, so now I see there's water. I originally thought that was part of Crimson's waste, but it's not. And now I see the rubber ducky Phil was mentioning last night. See some mistakes there, so and usually the opposite for this color. I would have chosen a green, but I choose that color instead. So again, in the description, I've put the links to Shelby's RAGETALITY as well as Phil's Indiegogo campaign for CG Vacation. Looks fantastic. I'm hoping I'll get this done within before 11:30 or by 11:30. That's the goal. Again, just aiming right for the center of the black line. All taken care of. Let's see. The earring. So it's a little light. I'm going to darken that down a bit. It's going to lighten over time. And let's pick this blue. Cute little ball over here. Polka dots. Oh. Let's see. Oh. I'm just holding down on the shift key with my lasso. So it goes from a free lasso to magnetic. I can pick it up and drag. Do this all in one go. All right, so we're gonna close him down. Let's see if I saw this open. There she is. So I'll do another method here, which you may have seen like artists when they're going to do their paintings of their sketch. So they'll fill it all in with one color and then go from there to paint it down individually. Unlike their method, I've seen a lot, which is they take their paintbrush and they'll just keep either painting, maybe they do a magic wand selection, invert it, so it just isolates the lines itself and then fill. That one's a good method. That's a little faster versus the grabbing a big brush and just starting to fill it in. I'm just going to use the lasso, make the selection. And then just hit my paint bucket and drop it in. Let's see where I made some little errors like here and here. And just quickly, just again, aiming straight towards the middle on this. So I'm doing something I normally don't. I'm not supposed to do anymore, which is I'm monotasking or multitasking. I'm supposed to monotask when I do this. So typically I put on a movie like Big Trouble in Little China, Star Wars, something I've seen a million times and know the plot in and out, and I can then focus on doing the job. But I'm listening to the damage report on YouTube, and so they're talking about all the latest things happening, and I'm kind of interested in what they're saying. Kind of slowing me down here. Now, what should she have as a costume or swimsuit? Let's choose this. And if she had fingernails, I would have colored those in. Oh. Okay, that's weird. I now see where the bikini top is, but I'm wondering where this extra strap is coming from. Okay, their bottoms. All right, so that's her. Close her out. And he is a white color. Okay. Yeah, so doing something I wouldn't recommend for ADHD people to do, which is listening to a podcast where you have to, if it's not something you've heard before or a show you haven't seen before, to play. It's going to slow you down. This guy, I might do his claws and break that down. Definitely the pattern in the towel. And I choose gray color. So I'm just again holding down shift, going through selection, lasso, and dropping it in. I knew this is going to happen there. So I'm not certain if his eyes are like our eyes. Not certain he's got a pupil. So I'm still going to break it down with the pupil. And the next color, colorist in line can change that. I probably will make that a little yellower. I'm selecting a white area around, picking my paint bucket and dropping in the color. Stick with the yellow theme for the super soaker there. More paintball gun. Those are typically red and blue and yellow. So I'll have to break it up even further. Pick that up a bit more. Use the same colors. Let's see. I'm not familiar with the character, but I'm going to assume that they are also not wearing a shirt. I will look at the ref real quick. It's not really in there. Oh, and it just reminded me I missed his gums. And claws got to break down too. Okay, so cat's got pink one. What I'm gonna do is make a big selection of the entire cat. Purple. Pretty cool. I like this design. So make sure you check out the Indiegogo campaigns for RAGETALITY as well as CG Vacation. Description or links in the description. I like indie, helping indie. In fact, I've got to get my campaign for my second issue of the Wayfarer coming soon. Actually, just wrapping up the second issue cover right now, and once that is done, contact all the other artists doing the variant. I have one variant by Krista Crawford, Fleur de Villainy. That's already been received. Beautiful piece done by her. And might also do one as a gold tier, where it'll be gold foil on print, do a limited, just one each. And yes, having Shelby Robertson doing another one as well. And this weekend I've got to update my site, so that way I can have some new pieces up, hopefully with some better imagery, especially the Shelby Robertson, Todd McFarlane cover of my Wayfarer. Okay, does this look right? Oh. All right, that's kind of a yellow. I wonder if they form something. I'm going to ask Phil. these guys like form like a human-sized Voltron, or like cats. That'd be kind of cool. Cats that formed a human. Let's see, is that anything else I'm missing? Nope. So pretty much, again, working left to right here. Is it a rule of thumb? No. You do you. I definitely do always recommend, of course, doing background to foreground first. But you change it depending on how you feel, how you think it may help. Maybe working foreground to background because there's not a lot of background. It's minimal. And so getting the main character done first will help expedite the flat. So again, just aiming towards the middle. There's a lot of black in here, a lot of shadows, so going into that as well. The artwork's going to cover it. It's not going to be shown, so don't worry about that. She's got a red cape. Swimming. Based on the coloring I looked at, the reference, this is also red. Might break that down just a bit more. Let's oops. On the screen. And this, I'm going to do this really cool, what I thought was cool when I first saw it. Help outline the tree. Choose a different green. Drop that on background there. Yeah, so that's basically it. A lot of people find flatting boring, tedious, but just again, as an ADHD person, I just hyper focus and just get it done. Music is also very helpful when you're flatting. So if you can't sit and you have to watch whatever's in the background. So if you're watching Star Wars, for example, and you have to have the TV on, you have to stop to look at it because you just love the movie, music might work. It doesn't give you a good timer unless you know how long the song is, but it will help move you along. So this little loop thing, if you're going to do it in Clip Studio, you can't unless you have your lasso set to add to selection, because it basically will just create a loop that's left over, you have to go back in and fill it. All right, I did not see the birds. So let's. One looks like a cockatoo. When I get close up like this, I can see that I've made some mistakes or missed some things. So just fill it in. Let's see, this one cat is this cat. So it's very important too, if your client gives you reference where they have to be a certain color, then follow. No. So the last cat must be the green. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to look up. If not, sit back, enjoy the music, and watching this all come to pass. Hoping to go out and be around real people this next week. I can work on my vocabulary and speaking skills. I basically just talked to a 10-year-old, 11-year-old all day, so imagine the conversations aren't that gripping or one-sided. When the show ends I'm listening to, that's when I'm going to get some lunch. Got to keep a schedule. That's another part too. If you're ADHD, definitely keep your schedule. It's it for too long. It's one thing we as artists do too much. It's not good for your health. Gotta get up and move. Because the back problems, etc. So I want to avoid that. All right, so let me break the legs down just a bit. Wrong area. All right, so they're done with the first hour of the damage report. So I know that an hour has been spent. So that's, again, using a method know how long I've spent doing this piece. If I was to watch Big Trouble in Little China and it came to the part where Jack is now going into the adult situation to find the girl with green eyes, Young, I think. I don't remember her name. I think that's it. If I was at that point, then I know, oh, okay, that's where I'm at. Still gotta keep going, plug along. But like Shelby did, he inked one half of the page, half of this is done. I'll pick these ladies now, because they're just one piece bathing suits, so it's going to be quick to go through. And here's a case where working foreground to background will help, because by isolating them, I can then easily color the background. Those bushes. I can just cut right through the color or make selections through there. Check the ref. So she's a pink color. That's why I was like, better check. Let's should get the right color. So black here. Yeah, Shelby did a great job making this. Not see the hair continuing. I think because I'm getting hungry. Okay. Pardon me. Bet with this image, I'm going to get at least this much done and just have just a bit to do later in the day. I got a good portion, maybe 3/4 of this image done. So I saw I made didn't select this area properly, so I'm just isolating it. Same thing with this piece here. Same thing here. And assume that's like some sort of lightning bolt or sine wave. I'll just flat that in. This is not like a shine or anything for the rest of the outfit. Blue or purple-ish blue. And a towel. Let's see this. I think it's called fronds or whatever for palm trees. I'll quickly just select that. So I like using, and I wish Clip Studio Paint had this ability. Hopefully they'll add it soon. But turn the lasso into a magnetic. By holding on, I'm holding on Shift, so I'm able to turn it to a free lasso, so I can just draw freely here. Or if I lift up, it becomes a magnetic. I always said if Clip Studio did that, that would be a game changer. I would flat every client piece. That's not a one I need to use the hi-fi method with. I would basically do this in Clip Studio. Because you can add, like I said, there's the ability of, even in Photoshop, to add to the selection. But just having this makes it a little faster. All right, let's see what she's supposed to be. So she's green color. So I'm glad I checked. And just making one huge selection. Unfortunately, I can't see if you're on Facebook, if you're saying anything. StreamYard doesn't have that ability yet to view comments, and I don't have my other restream up to view any comments on Twitch. Excuse me. I swear I'm cutting down to 1 pack a day. That's all the talking I don't typically do, except for myself. All right, so it's also a little dark, so I'm gonna choose that. So again, listening to the damage report on YouTube. So when they hit the garbage people, I know I'm gonna have to start wrapping up and go get some lunch. Stretch, definitely. Just got dark here. So if you have ADHD and want some other tips on overcoming, or at least techniques that I use for when I'm drawing or illustrating that help, especially those with really the big self-esteem issues that you just can't complete a piece and you just want to be done, and you walk away from drawing for 6 months and then you come back to it. I have some tips. In fact, a lot of those tips I used myself today because I was screwing up bigly on foreshortening of characters. Didn't turn out the way I wanted to. Oh, that nurse. Okay, so. I just couldn't get the foreshortening right when I was drawing today, or the hip going the right direction, popping out for the sass of the woman. I was using as a reference. Or that's a lot of characters to do. If you need a flatter for your comic, let me know. In the description, it'll have my contact info on the streamer links. You can email me at artworkbydutch@gmail.com. For not professional artists, I do have a normal rate that is a little less, and am I high? Didn't say the Philippines. Yeah, but the cost of living in the Philippines versus here is different, and then again, a lot of my stuff, or a lot of your stuff. I'm not saying everybody does it, but I know of a few that have had their prints, their images, etc., showing up in books overseas before they've even done it themselves. So, but when I do it, at least you get it done right. And I'm flexible, so if there's something I need to adjust that you didn't like or whatever, it will do so. And I also probably need to know too which program you're going to sit and color it in, because if you're going to color in Clip Studio, I can't save it as a TIFF file, since TIFF files get compressed into one layer, and oftentimes it's just the flat layer, so the line art is missing. I'll save it as, if I'm doing it in Photoshop or colored in Photoshop, I'll save it as PSD file, so you'll be able to open it. That's right. I was trying to remember that the can was a different color, because I colored it once before. Another piece that I did for Phil. So yes, I am a comic book colorist, a professional. It's what I do for a living. And I am a colorist. So basically the guy, if you're going to, the TV shows where they're staging everything, before they stage it, make it look pretty and gussy it all up, I come in and I do the painting, the hard part of painting everything and then breaking it down. And there's the next stage, which is the renderer who comes in and pretties it up, adds lighting, shade, etc. It's surprising a lot of people don't know that there's a job called flatting. It's the same thing they do in animation. You have a colorist that sits and does all the flat coloring there, and then goes to lighting or whatever next to pretty it up, get ready for consumption on TV. All right, so now we're on to big guy, which is cool. I haven't. So a lot of this I'm going to make selections and go back in with my negative lasso and cut out the areas so that I can fill in the chain itself. So that's another little tip as well. Make a huge selection, work medium to small. So for example, like here, that's going to be skinny. You see, I'm just going to negative lasso. I'm just cutting out. That way it'll make it look like you can see his forearms. Or his waist, like there. Rather than sitting and just going through and selecting each link individually, the color will take quite a long time. So my whole thing is, for any job, work smarter, not harder. I just saw a report that we were talking about people who work remote. Most of the time they're spent doing nothing. And I hate to break it to those managers for those corporations, but yeah, there's plenty of time. You can do your entire job within 4 hours. A lot of the time you're spent at work, you're doing cooler talk. You're talking to people around the cooler, keeping your connections with your coworkers alive, working the Penske file, just look like you're busy. And you're going to have days, yeah, you are busy, where it is going to be a solid full 8 hours of just work. But in the job I was in previously, if there was no emergencies, being a buyer, corporate buyer, being a corporate buyer, I would easily get my work done within 2 hours, and I'm just sitting there. Because you have slow seasons, you have busy seasons, and handing me something else that, it's not my job, I'm not going to get paid for, I should be paid more, doesn't work. So then there were days where it was like one emergency after another, and I have to sit and scramble and talk to people and negotiate on taking a product from one customer to get it for my emergency. And I actually like that job. That was pretty good until a dumb manager come along. Oops. See, I have to make sure I get that noted for Wacom. I don't know why it switched to the 3D paint bucket. Okay, it's a different color than I thought he would. Jason Bean, wanna be famous. Buy followers. So I can buy bots like the Snyderverse for the Snyderverse cut, huh? That's okay. Bots can't purchase artwork. If they could, that'd be great. Oh, taking out the trash. So I know it's almost time for me to wrap up here, get some lunch. It's been an hour and a half. If you haven't ever seen the damage report, I highly recommend. I usually recommend for those people who are libertarians to give it a shot. It's my intro to progressives. I had a weird dream last night. I was doing this piece, coloring this piece, but then I was also talking about collectivism and Ubuntu, etc. It was very weird. I have no idea what that was about. I'm hungry. I'm trying to decide what to have for lunch. All right, so see, by isolating these characters, I can come back in over here and quickly just fill in this background of this bush. And I cut right through. Make a huge selection down. This woman's leg. Drop in the color. Boom. Done. And she is white. So we'll choose a grayish color. It's light. Oh, that's obviously her one piece. I didn't catch that. I thought it was going to be a bikini. Get the window there. So just going in, making a selection using. Oh, that's also part of a one piece. Holding down Shift, and then once you touch the mat, hitting Alt or Option on the Mac. So I can make multiple selections here. Again, I don't need to do that. You do have the Add to Selection, this one here. Problem is with that, though, if you forget about it and you're working on something else later, I actually want to, you'll accidentally add something to your image that you didn't want to, and go back in and fix it. Red in there, it's yellow. Good, that was correct. All right, since the damage report is wrapping up here, I'm probably going to go and finish this and get some lunch. I will, when I do post a thumbnail of this, have that image shown of the finished. You can also view the finished and fully colored piece on Phil's Indiegogo site, description and link, or link in the description, excuse me. And back it. Support Phil. Help support all indie writers and their artists they hire and colorists like myself. Hey, thanks, Buck. I'm hoping to have a better year. Got a lot of things planned. My website, hoping to get this weekend new product loaded, and my Ted Lasso. Hopefully, working my coach beard for Ted Lasso. I did a print for that for Phoenix Fan Fusion. Got to try to raise some funds if I'm going to do Fan Fusion next year, as they raise their prices to absorbent amount. It was quite a shock when I saw it. But hopefully it's just a typo and they'll fix it, or if it is, we'll see. I'm trying to get guested instead. And I'll probably post. I do posts on Facebook for colorists for flatters needed. And so I'll wait until after Phil's shown this piece before and it's been active and live, and get his permission to any artist's permission to add it to my portfolio. Yeah, so by adding all these guys here, I can then go through now and I can quickly flatten these last bushes. I don't have to worry about impacting the characters. And by doing this one in the front first, in the foreground, I can get that big bush last. I might actually just stay on this for a bit because I'm getting so close to finishing this. I might just stay on here. To that front here, but so there's not much to flatting. I mean, it's just technique. Eventually, figure out what works for you. Adjusting what you want to tackle first, foreground, background. Definitely using the ref provided. And again, using different timers. Pomodoro method is one. Again, that's one where you work for 25 minutes and then you have a break for 5, work for another 25, 5-minute break, come back. So you get a chance to sit, get up and walk around. And then there's a timer as well for, if you need to do a 35-minute lunch or 40 minutes, whatever you need to set, and that way you can get out of your seat. This on here. Or in my case, again, I like to listen to something that excites me, gets that extra kick of dopamine. So I'll watch or listen to a movie. I've been listening actually to John Adams on HBO, the series of our second president. Smart guy. Definitely like to hear himself talk. Read a couple of his pieces, so you can catch that. And I've seen it before, so that's another reason why. It's just that I was just there to listen, and listen to viewpoints of Jefferson and Hamilton, whom I didn't like before. I mean, the musical is nice and all, but definitely the book paints him in a different light than how he actually was. But I'm working on a couple of Doctor Who pieces. Those I'm actually going to post on my Instagram. Again, all my information is found in the description. My streamer links. Some little pieces here. I'm trying to make all the trees, not do too many different colors. Try to keep them within the same realm. So that way when the renderer comes along and selects, they can get those and isolate them on a separate layer. Or if I was to color this piece, that would help expedite things. Let's pull out. So there we go. I'll probably keep the sky my original color that the flat, my action automatically makes, or that I selected to make. And that way I'm just down to, 4 characters. Probably gonna take me another hour just to do everybody. And I think for this, I've got to make it a different color here. That's right. These are spikes that come out of him. Big selections. What's going on when I make that is this my bucket with anti-alias off, contiguous off, etc. Photoshop, the AI is just gonna know that this area is colored in, so it's gonna go for the area that's not selected, so I can make, the paint bucket on the outside here. Because it realizes this color is the same color as that, or was, it'll fill it in. That selection only. As long as I avoid hitting a swimsuit, for example, then the swimsuit would automatically fill in. Multiple selections. I think the only reason why I would ever add the add selection to is if I couldn't find a what do they call, like a studio mate, or like the tab mate doesn't work with Photoshop. Then I would just select the add selection, because I use this key, my express keys, all the time on my Cintiq. I probably should have put that in the description too, which was I use a 22 HD Cintiq Wacom. I probably should get the actual pronunciation. I think it's Wacom. I know I've had it beat in my head a few times. I'm laughing because I was part of trying to get something from SDC, San Diego Comic-Con, Mark Brooks piece. They're making fun of how this one guy kept saying, instead of saying Gliche, it was saying, I don't know, Glisse or Gliche or something. It was just very weird. So Mark corrected him, but then they didn't know what the meaning was, and so they turned it into little innuendos. And how he glitched over the print. And for those kids who don't know, don't ask a parent. Don't ask a friend what it means, what the innuendos are. Ever since my excuse me. Excuse me. I'm starting to laugh there too much. Ever since my youngest found out about sex education and is now seeing all the adult jokes in, like, Phineas and Ferb or Simpsons, she can't unsee them now. Because she always wondered why I was laughing so much when something was said. So I had to remind her that these cartoons are made by adults, so they're going to throw their adult humor in. And so we have our little humor in there. Even in my comic, I still throw in a little bit of adult humor, even though it's trying to make it kid-friendly. So making big selections here. Again, you're not going to see those colors because they're hidden by the black. Unless the artist, for some reason changes it or they decide to change it. That's quickly a quick fix that could be made. Yeah, I definitely need to get something to drink here. I think the only hard part right now, I'm just trying to look at see what I should tackle. I could tackle these two characters in the foreground here, which just might, and save the hard part, which is it's not easy going through and doing all these little branches and leaves. Even though it's a huge selection, if it's going to be tough, and I might even break down like these individual leaves popping out here later. So I think I'm going to tackle these guys first. Okay, so it looks like it's metallic and it looks different from here. Oh, I think it is swim trunks. So I'm going to make a big selection here. I'm going to come back over and then break them down. Oops. Okay, so his body green. Okay, see, I'm just seeing that now. Thought it was going to be robotic. It's the arm. It's be the same color. I'm going to cut through here. That's not good. All right, let's break down everything. So I'm just seeing the pattern here. It's something very ADHD. Again, following one of those kids' puzzles. Dropped in. And we'll color this. Let's see, are those lit? I'm thinking so. And these little pieces, break them out. I'm breaking down things as much as possible. And as a flatter, you can't get upset when you've done all the hard work, and because especially doing it professionally, and they're just trying to get a book to print for DC or whatever, and all the hard work you put in for flattening something down individually, and especially let's say it's a crowd, and then you come in and you buy the book and you see that they decide to make all the characters in the background all one color, even though you had broken it down into, individual clothing, etc. Had that happen a few times on the Scooby-Doo Apocalypse book. But still had to do it anyways, just in case. Might have been a time issue where just couldn't do it. And there's been other times where it's like, nope, they want you to break it down and go further. It's like taking this bolt, if I keep going down, it might take away from when they're coloring it, rendering it out. Because, for example, right here, we know there's a highlight. It's probably on this side, actually. So they could easily light that section, keep this flat background color, just be done. I'm just looking back at the selection here. I have to figure out what color those yellow jackets are. I'm going to zoom in just to check. Yeah, just making one large selection, bring it back to this area here. See, actually, that's a mistake here I made. So I'm going to cut that out using the negative lasso. Rather than going back and then painting it in with blue. I mean, if it works for you, that works. For me, I just would rather cut it out. It's faster. I already have the lasso selected. I don't want to go back and have to keep choosing colors, and it's longer than it should be. I'm going to keep this all one solid color. I was thinking about breaking down the wings, but since I don't see anything here that separates it from the thorax, then the abdomen. I don't know, I'm confused. Is that the thorax? Brain's gone. Time to get lunch. Caffeine for the day. All right, so I'll wrap up this last lady here once I figure out what she is, and then I'm going to call it afternoon. Get some lunch. Play a little Overwatch or something. I'm going to pull a Phil. I'm going to take a shower. Oops. I missed the Diaz. So when I wrap this up, one thing I will do is I will zoom in just maybe about the same that I've got right now, and then take a look to see if I missed anything or if anything needs to be cleaned up, added. For example, I'm seeing these spots, so I might just fill them in like I am now. I'm seeing this metal piece there I missed for the spine. And I missed the neck here, so I will break down the wires though, just in case. Do save. Your computer will, at least mine did when it happened, try to do recovery. Cut around our shades. Do the shades and face last features, and then I will call it a day. At least. It's a late moment. Oops. Lunch. All right. Let's finish up this last bit. Get our necklace. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it an afternoon here. I appreciate you guys being on for the last almost 2 hours. Definitely, again, please check out the links in the description for mine at streamlinks.com. Hey, Phil, how you doing? I'll have to go take a shower, man. So just for you. But yeah, this will probably take me, once I get back, another just half hour because I've taken care of the big parts. I'll do another look over to make sure I've captured everything and broken down everything as much as possible, like this chair. And thank you, Bogetto. I will. You too. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. I'll definitely, once you do, definitely follow the links in the description. Check out Phil's CG Vacation, Indiegogo going on now, as well as Shelby's RAGETALITY. And take care, everyone. This is Dutch, the ADHD artist, signing out. Take care.